China's Xi calls for all-out infrastructure splurge to rescue economy. This is the video Chinese censored don't want you to see or share. Hong Kong CNN Business. China is about to embark on a new infrastructure spending spree in a bid to fix an economy nearing breaking point because of COVID lockdowns. President Xi Jinping told a meeting of senior economy officials Tuesday that all-out effort must be made to boost construction to increase the domestic demand and promote growth. He said that the nation's infrastructure was still incompatible with the needs of national development and security, according to state-run Xinhua news agency. She called for more projects in transportation, energy, and water conservancy, as well as new facilities for supercomputing, cloud computing, and artificial intelligence. He didn't elaborate on how much China plans to spend on the new infrastructure push. According to the most recent government statistics, infrastructure investment already increased 8.5% in the first quarter of 2022 from a year earlier. The comment by Xi, who rarely set out detailed economy plans, leaving that to his Prime Minister Li Keqiang, indicates that Beijing is growing increasingly worried about the country's worsening growth outlook and is falling back on the policy it had downplayed in recent years to ease pressure on local government finances and promote growth through consumption. But COVID lockdowns have brought the world's second biggest economy nearly breaking point, Associate General analyst wrote earlier this week. Top restrictions in Shanghai and other major Chinese cities are just the latest blow. However, China was already feeling the impact of the real estate slump and the crackdown on private enterprise. Unemployment hit a 21-month high in March. A number of investment banks have slashed their forecast for Chinese growth in the past month, and the International Monetary Fund last week said it expected growth of 4.4% this year, down from the previous forecast of 4.8%, citing risk from Beijing's strict zero-COVID policy. This is well below China's official forecast of around 5.5%. The Tuesday's meeting suggested to us that Chinese policymakers have been increasingly aware of the strong growth headwinds from COVID restrictions and the continued property downturn, and thus becoming more determined to ramp up policy easing measures, Goldman Sachs analyst wrote on Wednesday. CT analysts meanwhile believe China's infrastructure investment is likely to surge by 8% in 2022, sharply higher than the 0.4% increase seen in 2021. The infrastructure push is real, they wrote Wednesday in a note. The turning point for real policy actions may be arrived, and the stimulus will likely come through more obviously from late Q2. This isn't the only move made by Chinese policymakers this week to calm nerves and boost growth. On Monday, the People's Bank of China cut the amount of foreign exchange banks must hold as reserves to 8% from 9%. This move would effectively increase the supply of dollars in the market, and analysts widely believe the decision is intended to stem a rapid drop in the yuan. The Chinese currency has weakened rapidly in recent days, plunging to the lowest level since November 2020, as rising COVID-19 cases in Beijing sparked fears that the Chinese capital could join Shanghai and other major cities in lockdown. Chinese stocks also slumped deeper into a bear market earlier this week, with the Shanghai Composite Index down 21% so far this year, making it the second worst performing market in the world after Russia, according to the data from Refinitiv Econ. The market rout comes as China remains determined to maintain its strict COVID restrictions despite the hefty economic price. The financial and manufacturing hub of Shanghai has been in lockdown for about a month, forcing businesses to shut down and worsening global supply chain disruption. Beijing started mass testing on Monday for each 21 million residents to contain a fast and furious outbreak, the city government spokesperson said.